Hello everyone, so I've got a bit of an update for you. I have stitched the swan on the left hand side. I've also stitched the swan at the top, but I forgot to show you. So there's the back of it. That's the head there with the beak, but I forgot to video it. So I've just done the one on the left. Sorry, that funny noise is me moving the light. This is all full cross and fractional stitches. I used to really not like seeing people's top leg going the opposite way when doing fractional stitches, but I don't know if this is right, but this is what I'm doing this, and I have seen this on many people's posts and photos about this one. So this is without any back stitch. There's some blue back stitch which I'm going to try and put in two pictures maybe here of without back stitch, with back stitch. The back stitch colour thread is actually pretty much the same colour as this fabric, so it doesn't show up very much. You can see a little bit, especially with a bright light on it, you can see a little bit of the fabric through here. So the blue might well show up more on a lighter colour fabric or just a different colour fabric, I'm not sure. But I myself can't remember what it looks like kind of with the back stitch, so I would like to do a comparison. So I've taken a picture of this one, and I'll be taking a picture of the same one when I've done back stitch and then comparing them. Two other things I just wanted to mention, really for myself as well as to anyone who's watching about this one. In the part before with the waves, there's this, I'll get my needle, hang on, wobbly. There we go. There's this, in the part before there's these two stitches here that are spare, free even. Let me just focus on there. So this one above the bead here, or to the side of the bead, and then this one here. When you come to this part with the swan, this stitch here is actually filled with a half stitch of this petite treasure braid half stitch. So I am going back in and filling it. Now, again, as I've said on many occasions, that's not going to, sorry, my cat is thundering around upstairs. That's not going to make a huge difference. If you decided not to stitch this one stitch, no one is going to notice. So I'm going to do it because I might as well while I'm here. And there is, where is it? That's a bead, isn't it? I think I might have missed one there as well. But it might actually, oh, hang on. Let's investigate together. Yeah, there are no missing stitches on this part. So if I just scroll up, I know you can't see what I'm doing, I'm really sorry. If I just scroll up to the same parts on the part before, okay, that's interesting. That is a missing stitch. I wonder why there was a missing stitch. That's a missing stitch on the part above. Sorry, I just realised my hand is showing. That's a missing stitch on the part above, but actually that's part 3 that's missing, and so is that. But on part 4 they're both filled in. I wondered why there was a missing stitch. That makes sense now. And also, just coming up here, this is empty. This stitch here is empty on part 3, and if I just scroll down to part 4, just waiting for it to load. Which one is it? Yeah, that's also a petite treasure braid. So that makes more sense that they would be filled in. Okay, so again, if you've left them empty, or if you're going to leave them empty, no one will notice. No one will notice. I'm going to fill them in because I might as well fill them in. But yeah, so there's that. And then, oh, I dropped my needle. The last thing I was going to talk to you about is, oh, I need it. Hang on, I'm going to pause. Okay, so I've done back stitch. I know I've mentioned it on another one. I've done back stitch on the inside of this cream rectangle, and there are two things. One, it's the wrong colour. it should be in the Petite Treasure Braid colour. Where's my hand? Oh, there it is. This should be in the Petite Treasure Braid colour. And also, on one of the first pages of the pattern, it says the backstitch should always be in one strand unless it tells you otherwise. And I used 2 strands. So not only is it the wrong colour, it's also too many strands. As I've mentioned in a different video, I think I'm going to leave it in because mainly because I beaded over the top of it. If I hadn't beaded now, I would just strip that out and it wouldn't take me very long to get rid of that. Each loop would be quite easy to pull out. So I am going to leave it, and I'm just going to pretend that the walls that these flowers are in are super fortified with extra brickwork. That's what I'm going to go with. That's the only thing I think that's not true. This is one of the only things I think I've done weirdly. And then also the other thing I know I've done weirdly is that these stitches here, hang on, I'm going to have to look over the camera because I can't find my hand. These stitches here are over 2 stitches, whereas the pattern says to stitch over 1 stitch. So 2 fabric threads, not 4. I've stitched over 4. So these should actually be per stitch like that instead, but I've done it this way because that's what I wanted to do. So even though I read the instructions multiple times, I've still done some really weird stuff, and that's fine. I don't mind. It's looking absolutely beautiful. This is the felt that I used to cover it and to hide it in the scroll frame, which I'm then folding back. So I just absolutely love it, and I think it's beautiful. In the grand scheme of things, none of the weird things that I've done will even remotely notice. So I'm not too worried, but I guess it's a learning experience, and I'm following the best I can and making decisions the best I can after forgetting the instructions that are quite clear. So yeah, I'm going to just fill in as many of these as I can on this side. These sort of missing, I think there's 3 now, missing stitches, and then I'm going to backstitch tomorrow. So yes, then I'll be halfway done through part 4. It's all very exciting and really coming together. It's absolutely stunning and really sparkly in real life. It just doesn't show up at all in the camera. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying your day, and hopefully see you in a bit. Bye.
Well, hello. So I've now reached the end of part 4 and all the swans are done. It's quite a short video, I think, for this one. Well, depending on how I edit it, I might have put loads of nonsense in, but it's potentially a short video. Here is the swan, the upside down swan. This is the bottom of the piece. There are 4 swans in the same sort of middle place on each side of the square, and they just follow the same pattern, but you get the pattern upside down, so you don't have to rotate the part. I think there's a part coming up that I will have to rotate, but I'm going to deal with that when it comes. This is yeah, there's only 3 colours, one of which is a blend, sorry, and then 3 main colours, and then 4, there's this little bit of black there for the beak and the eye. This one is, I'm just going to put my hand down, and then you should be able to see. Hang on, I'm going to cough. I'm just getting off the back of a cold, so I've got a bit of a croaky throat. And contrary to popular belief, this is not my pre-coffee voice, which I know you would have all heard by now. This is my 5:50 p.m. voice with a cold, or with a croaky voice, off the back of a cold. Anyway, so what was I going to say? Oh yeah, that's it. So I'm just going to cover this up. Is that light on? No. I'm just going to cover up the light a minute and come in, if I can. Yeah, you can just about see the back stitch, which is blue. And I appreciate some of that's a bit not well focused. You can barely see it when there's a light shining on it, and when there's a light shining on it, it all gets very bright. So I'm just going to zoom in. So you can see the back stitch quite nicely now. Yeah. And I'm just going to zoom back out. Oh, out. And yeah, it's really cool. I've got the back stitch is pretty much the same colour as the colour of the fabric that I've chosen. So it is pretty hard to see, but I did take a picture. If I can find it, I'll put it in. I did take a picture of a pre-backstitched swan and then a backstitched swan, and I put them together, and you can see a little bit more in this light as well. It's pretty noticeable. Sorry, it's not noticeable, but I think when it's not in sort of direct special stitching light, I'm sure it'd be more obvious. And if you didn't choose this colour fabric, it would also be more obvious. Anyway, that's done. I'm just going to move up here just so that you can see a little bit of the other swan. Just peeking out there in my scroll frame. It's just so cool. It is so cool. I was just going to say two things. One is I've got some fractional stitches here. Hang on, where's my hand? There. I've got some fractional stitches here, which I appreciate these legs. Hang on, it's going to not focus again. I think I'm holding it too close. These legs here are not matching the same as the top leg. What I would normally do on other pieces is I would stitch this as the bottom leg, and then I would stitch this over the top of this leg, and I would put it in here and sort of hook this top leg so that it would be very much a half stitch, and I would have this little bit that goes halfway into the middle. I would have that over the top of this leg, but I decided not to do that on this because I thought they looked a bit unfinished on the outside. I should have done it here, where this one, I think there's a couple in this one. There's a couple where there are two half stitches. So this is a half stitch, this is a half stitch. And the way that it's showing is that it's dividing this way. And so the way that I stitch, I've got, that's the top leg going the wrong way to my normal ones for this half a stitch. This is the top leg here for this half stitch, and then it's also got back stitch. So I could easily, instead of putting this leg the opposite way to my normal stitches, I could easily have done two little half stitches and then covered up this middle bit with the back stitch anyway. That's, I think, the main stitch in the whole of the swan that catches my eye as looking wrong, because it's so obviously going the opposite way to my other stitches. And the same for all of these on the outside and stuff. They're just going the opposite way to all my other stitches. So you do notice them, but I don't know if that's normal or not. I have seen that in other people's. I've done it. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. But I still don't know if it's quite right. Anyway, this is what I've done. And I'm very aware, just as a whole, how specific I'm being when I'm talking about these things. Like that one stitch there, and some of these other stitches here that were not on part 3 that I've put in on part 4 after seeing them in part 4, and then also this back stitch that I know I've backstitched in the wrong colour. Like, I know I'm being really specific about things, but yeah, I would have appreciated seeing anyone talk about these specific things when I was stitching it. Anyway, what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, just very quickly. Sorry, that's my doorbell. How beautiful are these colours here with this petite treasure braid? Isn't it beautiful? Oh yeah, in the shade as well. Oh no, you can sort of see through that. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. So I'm going to go on to part 5. I believe it's these baskets that go upside, well, on this bit, they go upside down here, and there's like a round tree or something, and then some sort of flowery plant that comes out of the swan. So I'm going to do those, and the next part does have normal cross stitch, special stitches, specialty stitches, speciality stitches. I'll get my words out. Beads and backstitch. So we're back to sort of a part with all 4 elements really. So I'm very excited. Now going to start part 5 and really appreciate you watching. Also, while I'm here, I just thought I'd say thank you very much to anyone who has commented on any of my videos or on my Instagram posts regarding this. I'm really grateful that you have watched and have enjoyed these. A number of you have said that you've got this design kitted up, and I would just say go for it. If you haven't got it started and you're, I don't know, in any way, I know some of you said that you're sort of a bit worried about it, or like me, I was a bit intimidated by it. Just start it. It's so cool. Just literally do 1 stitch at a time. It's amazing. And there's loads of resources available on the Chatelaine support group on Facebook that can help. And it's just really cool. So please start. And then also thank you to anyone who has said thank you to me for putting this up. I really appreciate that. And yeah, I'm glad I'm glad you're enjoying it. And I'm glad if this can help anybody, then that's awesome. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in part 5. Bye.